All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lions Pit Podcast. I am your host, Nick Gomez. With me today is my good friend, Wes Beans. How
What's
you
up,
doing,
man?
brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, man. I'm glad you made it up here.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
Yeah, I've been wanting to get you on, man. Wanted to get you on for a
Yeah.
while. Been wanting to get you to Texas for a while, but you
Yeah.
made that move on your own.
Yeah, I know. We go, man, it's been almost
2-3 years? 2 years?
coming up on 3 years
Yeah.
since I came down to On It that one time. Yeah. So it's been a while, man. So
Yeah, and you were up in New
finally
York
here.
at that time.
Yeah, I was in New York, just working as a trainer for Jim Dog Pound
Mhm.
that you know. And then when I first visited Texas, I was like, yeah, man, I love it down here. It's just so nice and
Yeah.
refreshing. And then that's when I interviewed with On It and stuff like that and tried to figure out my way down here. But
Yeah.
finally we made it happen.
Finally made it happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
On It's such a good vibe.
Oh, it is.
And honestly, like everyone, because we did that, like the like Zoom interview with you, like all the
Yep.
coaches.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah,
Mhm,
seems
mhm.
like a great fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. And it was cool to see a lot of the coaches in person that I, didn't really know because I really knew a few of you guys via social media and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was cool to. And I remember my interview when I came down.
Mm-hmm.
I like just got off the plane, and the first thing I did was go straight to the gym, and we did like some crazy workout.
Yeah.
The coaches workout.
The coaches workouts, yeah.
And I just hopped right in.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I
It
mean,
was
that's the thing to do, man. When I first started
Yeah.
on it, that's always kind of like our vetting process, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first came in, they weren't exactly hiring because it was right after COVID,
Right.
and they're like, well, you can just start showing up to the coaches workouts.
Yeah.
And I think I came in on a Monday, and the coaches workouts are Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool, bet. They're like, yeah, 1:30s. But they didn't tell me what day. So I showed up the next day at 1:30, and it was a Tuesday. And I get in there, and they're having their like coaches meetings because the first Tuesday of every month we have our coaches meetings. And Larry was like, he's like, oh shit, like super stoked that you came down. Like that shows a lot. He's like, but we're not working out today. He's like, it's Monday, Wednesday,
Dang.
Friday. I was like, all right. So I still ended up working out with
Yeah.
couple of the guys like that were on the headquarters side that still worked out with the coaches.
Okay. Cool.
But
cool,
yeah,
nice.
that's all I did,
awesome.
man. You got to come to those coaches workouts.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of find out where you're at, and being able to push each other and hang,
Yeah.
and it's just good camaraderie building. So I did like that because wherever I was before, like, we work out as a team here and there, but
Mhm.
not very often. But
Yeah,
it's nice that you guys do that on it.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I love it. Yeah, it was one of those things. Like I thought about previous gyms that I'd worked at,
Yeah.
and like I would tend to work out with some of the other coaches anyway,
Right,
but it was
just
never like
naturally,
a
yeah.
thing, like
Mhm.
a set time and date. Like it was always just
Right.
like, hey, what are you lifting today? Like, all right, cool, I'll hit that
Yeah,
too.
let me hop in,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a set time.
Right. Like an
Okay,
organized
let's-
function.
yeah,
Yeah, because the
yeah.
coaches workouts they're typically led by Juan, who's
Mhm.
obviously like one of the best out there. And
Right.
then we'll have Carlisle jump in there too, who's a
Yeah.
fucking beast himself. So
yeah.
they're led by the coaches, and then depending on what we're doing that day, or if we have a new coach, like we might let them lead it and kind of
Right.
see how they do leading a
Program,
group.
Right. you're leading,
Yeah, because that'll expose you in a hurry if
Oh,
you're not ready to
man.
coach in front
Right.
of. If you're not comfortable to coach in front of other established coaches,
Yeah.
because that's the thing, you can coach in front of like random people all day.
Right.
But established coaches, like, oh, these guys also know what they're talking about. Like, I
Right.
better not sound like an idiot.
Yeah. It's puts you on the spotlight because everyone knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing. So you're like, they're either gonna find out if I'm the real deal or not.
Yeah.
But it's a good learning experience,
Yeah.
and it's cool. Everyone at On is cool too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys are very encouraging
Yeah.
to one another. But
Yeah, it's been great, man. It's definitely like, especially for like younger coaches coming in,
Yeah.
we do like a really good job of like
Mhm.
helping them along the way because
Yeah.
all of the coaches that are there are great at least something.
Yeah.
But most of us come from other gyms
Mhm.
that we became established in another location, another city, whatever, and then kind of made our way to On It because we
Right.
realized what On It is.
Right.
That's what I did, especially working with fighters.
Yeah.
On It was a big deal in the
man.
fight scene with Rogan and everything.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And then for me, it was a pretty natural transition because of the gym I was at before.
It was a partner, right? Like a
We were
On
like
It-
affiliated with On It.
affiliated,
Yeah, and Lawrence Herrera,
Okay.
the head coach over there, great dude, my mentor. He based like the warm up off of education they already had before, but like a lot of stuff from like the On It certifications.
Right.
So like the durability and like the foundation cert, like
that's
On It
awesome.
incorporated that a
Yeah,
lot.
so you had a good foundation before
Super smooth
making
transition.
a move. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great, man.
Yeah, but
Love that.
honestly, before I met you, I don't think I really knew what dog pound was.
Really?
Like I had
Yeah?
never really heard of it. Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
Albuquerque's it's not a fitness scene. So there's not
No.
like stuff like that in Albuquerque.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean,
tell me a little bit about that. How your experience was.
yeah, I mean, Dog Pound's a big time gym. And, unlike On It, where On It's very known for, obviously being a great gym and facility, great culture, but the style in which everyone trains is kind of along the same concept, a little unconventional tools, the kettlebells, the clubs, maces, things like that. Like that's kind of the umbrella that On It falls on, along with the fighting and whatnot. But Dog Pound's very unique because it's like there's no one particular set way of training or one general philosophy. It's like a bunch of trainers who just have their expertise and they train, and we all share clients. But it got big. It's just a cool vibe.
Yeah.
So it's just a great gym. It's a cool vibe, all one-on-one personal training. And yeah, the owner of Dog Pound, Kirk Myers, who is an amazing guy, but give him credit for just being able to build something like that, really.
There's one in New York and
one in New York and one in LA.
One in LA. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And who knows if there'll be more in the future. We'll see. But yeah, it was a great experience, very grateful. It taught me a lot to kind of where I was able to really be expressive of what I'd like to do in my training versus operating under a certain philosophy or umbrella at a particular gym. Like, hey, here's our way. This is how you're going to do it. I was really able to be expressive and do what I felt I wanted to do with my clients and what I thought was best, so.
Because obviously, I mean, because you were a collegiate athlete, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So like I can tell when I watch you lift that you have that like very good base of like traditional strength and conditioning.
Right.
But then like you're huge with like kettlebells. Which probably most people aren't super familiar with, especially like in an area like New York where it's kind of like
oh man,
yeah, it's not as like I mean you come to On It and obviously kettlebells are flying everywhere.
Oh man,
yeah, but like doing something like that like in a I don't really know that much about Dog Pound, so I don't want to like knock it by saying like an aesthetic gym, but like I always like kind of heard it as like a celebrity gym.
Yeah,
like celebrities train there
for sure. That's kind of what they got known for.
Yeah,
they kind of blew up because they had a lot of celebrities or Victoria's Secret models would come in and train.
That's rough.
Yeah, rough.
Yeah, hard time.
Man, yeah, tough. That's a rough work environment, But that's kind of what they got known for. And over time, COVID kind of did whatever. A lot of people left the city, so kind of changed up a little bit, but they still get a lot of those people. Like a lot of people get intimidated because they're like, oh, am I gonna? But man, even those people that do come, they do a great job of like attracting good people, just nice people, whether they're famous or not, So, I was nervous like starting there because I was like, man, what? These people are rich or they come from a certain, or they're, have a certain status maybe, like how are they gonna be? But, I was so surprised at how awesome everyone was.
Yeah,
so,
down to earth.
Very down to earth. So that was very nice.
Yeah.
But as far as going back to the kettlebells, like I didn't really get into kettlebells since COVID. Like COVID, I really started. It was only a few years, 5 years ago now. But and then my mentor Jason Padilla, who's now my business partner down in San Antonio, which is crazy. I really loved the way he was using the kettlebells, and so I reached out to him on Instagram, and I was just like, dude, I love what you're doing. Is there any way I could, get a program from you or something? I just want to learn how you're using them. So he hit me back. He's like, of course, man, I got you. I don't normally do this, but yeah, I'll do it for you. Yeah, so he would just send me the workouts that they would do. And man, probably did that for like almost 2 years.
Wow. And that was your first interaction with Jason?
Yeah.
Was it online?
Just reaching out on Instagram. I just slid in his DMs.
Yeah, and it works.
And it works.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah. And we just became good friends. We vibe really well. And then that's actually what brought me to Texas for the first time, was to visit Jason. And then, but when I started at Dog Pound, it was like cool because I realized I was getting into kettlebells more, but nobody else really used them. on the
Yeah.
training staff. So I was like, man, this could be a cool way or a unique way for me to really separate myself
Yeah.
in a certain aspect. And that's kind of what I became known for at Dog
Yeah.
Pound
Yeah,
was, hey, if you want to work with kettlebells, you got go to Wes.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Love that.
having that niche was nice. And people, you know, brought something different to the facility.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't imagine kettlebells were very big before you got there.
Yeah, not. I mean, people would use them for some basic things,
Sure.
you know, but like swings, deadlifts, you know, squats and stuff, but not in the versatility in which
Yeah.
you know you would typically see it on it or at SoulFit or whatever. But yeah.
I was talking to Carlisle actually this morning about you.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I see these guys just like wielding these like 48 kilogram kettlebells, and I'm like, God damn, like how are they doing that? I'm like, they're probably hollow. No, I'm just kidding. Shit's wild though, man. You guys like,
dude.
it's cool. I always thought that like with like Leo Savage or even going back to like Isak, who used to be at On It. Those are both like steel mace guys.
Right.
But like you see these guys working with these unconventional tools, which kettlebells kind of flirt that line of conventional and unconventional because they've been around forever and mostly popular. But like I said, most people kind of underutilizing them.
Yep.
So now to see people get, like I said, I've seen people get wild with like steel maces, the slush ropes, steel clubs, even the like the hydrocord bags. And so like to see people really start flowing with like kettlebells, I'm like, oh, this is different.
Yeah. No, the kettlebell flow is like very different, right? I mean, using them for your strength and conditioning purposes, like the cleans, snatches, presses, right? All that stuff is always fun. Like I love it. The basic stuff is great. But the flow is kind of newer, and that's where I truly feel like my mentor Jason really kind of created that niche.
Yeah.
Just like kind of incorporating yoga / kettlebells, and you just hitting all different planes of motion, almost like a dance routine. Is really what it is, and you know, breaking it down into steps to teach people and working on your mobility, rotational core work, rotational power stuff. Hitting all components, really. Checking a lot of boxes.
It's such a diverse like
tool. It is.
Yeah.
And
like I said, widely underutilized.
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like, you know, people like Primal Soldier, Juan, like those guys really, and many people I can name a whole list. John Wolf, just guys that kind of pioneered it, right? And it just spreads, you know, more creativity spreads off of each other. And new things come up about, or new moves. Or it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think it attracts the either people that are tired with the conventional lifts, or people who are like bored with them. Like a lot of people are like, you know, I don't want to go in there and just hit chest. Like I don't want to do bench and this, that, and the other. It's like, you know, so there's like you go to On It, and there's so many like creative types there. Yeah. Because I feel like our culture just kind of like breeds that. Yeah. So you get like the meatheads, you get like the big athletes, and then you get these like wiry, strong, like flowing, functional athletes or individuals, and I'm like, man, this is a dynamic tool.
Oh yeah, and it's fun because you know you're an athlete as well, right? So one thing about sports, or just like your martial arts or whatever, football was my sport. Like, it's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill. And anyone can lift heavy weight, put it down, you know. And there's always things you can go to improve that, your form, technique. But when it comes to kettlebells or the mace or the club, your technique, it's a skill. It is a skill. And I think that's what makes it more engaging and more fun, is like, I want to get good at this.
Yeah.
Like, something's not right, but I want to get better with it, with reps and practice, and whether it's a snatch or a clean or, I want to get into the flow a little bit. It's like it's a skill, which makes it fun, you know, because you can constantly get better at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so it's so tough because there's, like you said, there's very base movements you can do with it, you know, deadlift, squat, shoulder press, whatever. Yep. But like once you like you start getting like a little trickier with like a clean or a snatch, and then you like progress from there and see like actually what's capable to do with it. It's so wild. I'll never forget seeing a video of John Wolf. I think he's like in like 90-90, like sitting on the floor, and he just has kettlebells in like this rack position. He's like moving his feet side to side, like with these kettlebells, like, and they're probably 36 kilos each, and
Right.
he's just.
Oh man,
I was like, God, and John Wolf is a specimen.
yeah,
Like the way he moves
dude.
at his size.
Yeah, he is like crazy, man. It
Yeah.
is. He's super strong and like mobile too. He actually,
Freakishly mobile.
lives in San Antonio now, so he came by the gym.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like I saw you guys link up recently.
Yeah. We were just hanging out, and he was just taking me through some like simple stuff. And he's such a great, smart coach, and it was cool to kind of be with him on a one-on-one setting. Really, just kind of going through and trying to learn a little bit. And
I miss having him on it, man.
It was a cool experience. So
yeah, he's someone I consider a bit of a mentor as well.
Yeah.
Like, especially coming to like a bigger influence gym, like on it.
Right.
Because like I said, there's nothing like that in Albuquerque. There's nothing.
Yeah. Right.
There's no gym in Albuquerque has more than probably like 2,000 followers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just
because it's all either box gyms, kind of like Golds. In Albuquerque, we have a couple gyms called Define that are like Golds, and then maybe 2 or 3 kind of like athletic development gyms, like and Performance Ranch being one of those. That's where I worked.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's not really anything with like the force of On It or Dog Pound or even to the extent of like Collective or something like that, where like you have these like pretty big followings.
Yeah.
So coming into On It, man, I would just be in the back like picking John Wolf's brain all the time, and then like what a great resource to have.
Absolutely. And it's good that it's always good to be humble enough to be able to be like, I don't know everything, but I got great people around me who are way smart, maybe not smarter than me, but they know they have a lot of knowledge to give, and that I can, soak it up. That's the beauty of a young coach. I mean, obviously you started when I remember meeting you the first time on it, and it was like, I don't think it was like super recent that you moved there, but it was not
probably within like the first year or so that I moved out here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it was kind of fresh for you, and you were kind of telling me all the, I feel I gravitated towards you as well with a few others, and already giving me tips like, man, if you do come here, this is what this is what I did, this is what worked for me, and so it was much appreciated. So,
I'm for sure, dude. But I mean, like you said, you and I definitely like hit it off right away.
Yeah.
But I give that same advice to like all the young coaches that come through.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm very flattered because Larry used to tell that to like Gino, like when Gino first. Have you met Gino yet?
I don't know if I met.
Younger coach at On It, killing it.
Yeah.
He's doing really well right now. Good dude. He just finished High Rocks as well. But when he first came on, very eager, like he wanted to do it all, like most young coaches do. And Larry'd be like, "Hey man, if you want to succeed and do well here, do what Nick did." And I was like, "Fuck man, that's such a compliment."
I mean, that's a huge compliment.
Yeah, dude. Because I came in and I've probably told this story before, but definitely had to I didn't even have to really check my ego because my ego doesn't precede me into any room that I go into.
Yeah.
But I went in there and I submitted my resume and they kind of knew who I was already. But they're like, hey, it's post-COVID. It was 2021, like early 2021 when I came in. And they're like, you can start at the front of house, and when coaching spots open up, like we can get you in. And I was like, hell yeah, like get my foot in the door and watch what I do with it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, I was so like happy to just be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know what On It is.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's awesome to be able to just see that hunger in someone and be like, man, I'm just grateful for the opportunity just to be here, because
I'm trying to eat.
I feel like it's changing a lot in society nowadays, because I feel like a lot of people, especially younger, no offense to the younger crowd, but they expect certain things, right? Yeah. Like they expect, no, why would I do that? Like, no, I deserve this. And then it's like, man, you got to pay your dues, and it pays off in the end.
Yeah.
So like one of my first training jobs, it was like COVID hit. I was back home with my parents, and I was like trying to find something to do, keep me busy. So there was a gym I wanted to work at in New York before Dog Pound days. So I was just like reaching out to him. I just met him a week before COVID hit. So luckily we made that connection, and then he was just doing like virtual training really for free at the time for a lot of his clients and stuff, in hopes that, it would gain some traction, that they would start like seeing the value and start paying him. But so he was investing in it.
Sure.
And I was like, hey, man, like, I'm not doing anything. I would love to help you out. So I was really just helping him out. And, you know, he was a great guy, still a great guy, runs an awesome facility in Westchester.
Oh, nice.
Great sports performance facility. But, you know, that kind of set me up in the future for when the gyms reopen. I was like his right-hand man once the gym reopened.
Yeah,
but it
that's
was
nice.
just like paying my dues, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's important to do that.
It's very
you know,
important.
for
And
any
that's a
young
lesson that like
person.
I would have to tell some young coaches too, where I'd be like, the unpaid hours will get you paid.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the first handful of sessions that I worked with John Jones, that was all volunteer time.
Yeah.
Like the owner of Performance Ranch, Lawrence, he came in and this was when John was like first getting like going again back in, I don't know, 2017 probably.
Mhm.
And he's like, hey, I got the champ coming back in. You wanna help out? I was like, absolutely. And I didn't even ask about pay or anything.
right.
I was like, just tell me when to be here.
Yep.
And eventually, and obviously, it did pay off big
Yeah.
in the long run for
Right.
me. But
Right.
it was all, I was like, no, I want to be here.
Yeah.
I see the value in this, and also not only like the value of working with him, but
Mhm.
just being around Lawrence and like hearing how he coached and how he talked to
Oh, man,
people
yeah,
and like
yeah.
his like well of knowledge. He's a guy. I actually just had this talk with him back in Albuquerque. I was there last weekend. I always tell him, I'm like, dude, you're so smart. Like, why don't you post more? He's just not an online guy.
Right.
If he ever posts online, it's
Mhm.
archery and mountain biking.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
Man.
dude, he was like the
It's like-
Southwest director for like NSCA. He was like a Nike
Wow.
certified coach.
Man,
like
that's
he's just
crazy.
yeah, he's worked with like the who's who,
Yeah.
especially in MMA.
Mhm.
But just doesn't post about it.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have like super smart or just like even pioneers in the industry that's just like very inactive. But I guess it's just the time. I guess the timing and
yeah,
what you grew up and things like that. That
yeah.
you know. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
him, and then there's another guy that I've got to meet a couple of times. His name's Eric Telly. He works out of Denver at you ever heard of Landau Performance?
No, I don't think so.
So it's
but-
Lauren Landau. He was the strength coach for the Broncos. I think he's at
Okay.
Notre Dame now,
Oh,
but he's
wow.
worked with a lot of professional athletes. Has a
Cool,
great facility that like two different MMA camps work out of up
Wow.
in Denver. But
That's
he was
amazing.
like Christian McCaffrey's strength coach
Oh,
because he
wow.
worked with his dad, Ed
Okay.
McCaffrey.
Got it.
So yeah, Lauren Landau, as far as like the SNC game, like big name, but also not a huge presence. But Eric Telly works with a lot of fighters out of
Mhm.
Denver, and he's a former military guy, just like Lawrence from Performance Ranch, former military guy. Like neither of them post that much, and I'm like,
Right.
both of them are so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be killing
That's-
it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, they are killing it. You know,
They
what I
are
mean?
killing it, and
Just,
they're making real impact,
right,
for
right,
sure. Because
yeah.
there's a lot of people that have huge followings making no impact.
Right.
I would so much rather be
Right.
huge impact, no following.
Yeah. I mean, what are you influencing? Are you an influencer? Are you actually
Yeah.
influencing?
Yeah, you actually
people,
changing
right,
lives.
Right. You're actually
just
making a difference.
burning
you
holes
know?
in people's wallets.
Exactly.
There's as you know, those people are out there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You know.
So what made you
but-
want to so when did you stop playing college football?
Well, I went to college. Man, wow. Feel old. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But
What do you think
2014, I graduated high school. So I guess 2014, 2015 season, all the way to 2018, 2019. So it's when I graduated, finished
Mm-hmm.
my last years of football. So went to New York. That's kind of what took me to New York.
Okay.
I got recruited by a school, Marist, to play football up there. So
Okay.
got offered a scholarship to go up and play. And
What
yeah,
position were you?
I was a safety.
Safety?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you know, very humbling experience to go to play college ball. Is very, you know, you're now a small fit. You were big fish in a small pond, a small
Yeah.
town. Now I'm just one fish out of many.
Yeah.
Great athletes and stuff like that. So yeah, it just taught you a lot to like, hey, I got to step up my grind, step up my game. I got to work harder and be disciplined in different aspects. And then had a great career. I was lucky enough to, you know, be a 3-year starter, 2-year captain. So
Oh, hell
very
yeah.
fortunate for the experience.
That's
It taught me
awesome.
a lot. And, you know, yeah, I'm grateful for it, man. I know football is getting some fire, you know, recently
Yeah.
with like the concussions and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's been refreshing actually coming to Texas because
Oh, people love
people
football
love
here.
football.
Yeah.
Up north, it was like they were into it. They liked watching it, but it was like I would never let my kids play football.
Oh, that's wild.
And yeah, there was a lot.
And out here, it's like your kids better play football.
Right. Like if you don't play football, what's wrong, with you? But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to feel that change because I grew up in a football environment. So, but when I was in New York, it was like, yeah, people enjoyed watching it, but they would never, like, kids would play flag football, but they would never. And I guess there's not many like contact football leagues in Manhattan. Right?
Yeah.
Just
probably lacking on fields.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so maybe that's part of the reason.
Yeah. Why do I feel like you're from like
fishing?
Illinois? Indiana?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I grew up. Do you know where Gettysburg?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've heard of Gettysburg.
Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah, the Gettysburg
That's
Address.
I've
heard of it a time
like,
or two.
Yeah, exactly. It was like that's like right down the street from where I grew up.
No way.
So, small town, Pennsylvania, is where I grew up, and went to New York.
Did you ever do the Remember the Titans thing where you go run around Gettysburg?
No, believe it or not. Like we did go for a football camp. We would go to Gettysburg College, which is where the Titans.
Is that where that was filmed?
Went.
That scene?
I don't know if it was filmed exactly at the actual Gettysburg battlefield, but in the movie, Remember the Titans, they went to Gettysburg College for their football camp, and that's what we did over the summer. We would a bunch of schools would come and do the Gettysburg College football camp and like compete against each other and stuff like that. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
That's where the Titans became a team, really. That's where they bonded.
Yeah. No, I actually watched that movie the other day.
Yeah,
not even gonna lie. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Awesome movie.
So you finished up college football, and then what made you pursue strength and conditioning or training?
Right. Man, it really just like, because I went through a couple different majors in college, and trying to figure out what I would have wanted to do, and fitness was always a big part of my life. Strength and conditioning was always a big part of my life. Like, I'm thankful for my high school strength and conditioning coach, and I still tell him to this day because he taught me a lot and really set a great foundation. And I was just hungry in high school to be able to come from a small town and be able to go to the next level where our high school is known to be terrible. So to be able to go do something beyond our high school in football was a goal of mine. So I was just like dedicated to work hard. I just didn't really know what I was doing, you know? And so I'm thankful to have had him to kind of guide me as far as like setting a good foundation with my strength and conditioning. And then that carried over into college where I feel I had a huge advantage. Like,
absolutely,
football do a lot of Olympic lifts with the barbells, cleans. So my form was already on point. You know, some of those guys just never did it, so they were like struggling, but it helped set the foundation going into college and stuff. So I knew that was always important to me. I always enjoyed being at the gym, and I knew how much it impacted me, not just on a physical level, but a mental level, confidence level, that I was like, man, I would love to be able to give this experience to someone else, right? And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue trying to be a personal trainer or coach or something. And, just moved back home after college, was looking for jobs, and, it's really about who you know, right?
Absolutely,
and that's why it's always good to be a good person to everyone, no matter what, because you never know what kind of impact. It's just good to be a good person, regardless of what you get out of it.
It doesn't cost you anything to be a good person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you never know what's going to happen. But I applied for this one job in Jersey as a personal trainer, and the head coach, knew one of my college teammates. Like, he was much older than me, but he reached out to him. He was like, oh, you know this guy? He played football at Marist. And he was like, oh, yeah, he's a good kid. So that's what got me an interview.
That's great.
And that was a humbling experience going into my first coaching job.
Yeah.
Because I realized how little I actually knew. Because coming from football, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. I know. And then to go into a facility where, all the coaches were very smart. And then working with older people, their Gen Pop population, the average population age was like 40 and up.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like I haven't.
Especially being, what, 21, 22?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like 21, 22 at the time out of like a collegiate strength and conditioning program to that. And it was like humbling because I'm like, man, I got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And two, it was great because working with that older population gave me a newfound respect for coaching and how to be able to coach.
Yeah.
Right. To be a good coach versus, like just a good
As a trainer, like it's funny you say that because I kind of have always considered like a coach, like a trainer is someone that will just walk you around machine to machine and count your reps. Like a coach is in there, like they're someone that you're talking to probably more so than just like a trainer basis. Like a coach is really there kind of for everything.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, it's funny that you learn how to coach. Like, because some people, and especially like where I started out training, not a lot of people continued training at that gym. Like, because people either realized it was what they wanted to do or it wasn't what they wanted to do. And like obviously I'm one of the guys that stuck around and made a career out of it. But yeah, it's interesting to hear like more of your story and see like how many similarities we have because super small town where I grew up, like 6,000 people, maybe total 8,000. Again, big deal going to college from that small of a high school. Awesome. Difference is like my high school baseball team. We weren't like a big deal, but we were always like
pretty
top
good.
4 in the state for like 4A high schools.
That's great.
Yeah, but we didn't get anything from the school, man. We didn't get shit. Like our bleachers sucked, our fields sucked, our football team that was terrible got like a bunch of stuff. Our basketball team was terrible, got a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and we were like the redheaded stepchild. No offense to the redheads, but our coach just would never really like went out of his way to like do anything unless you were like related to him. It was that kind of small town stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So. But it's weird to see because like I said, and my first like handful of clients were elderly people, like knee and hip replacement. But such a valuable lesson.
Oh man.
Like you said, I 100% agree. Like you learn to coach there, you learn to work with people and listen to people, and you see how, at least for me, the thing that was so rewarding was seeing how grateful they were. Like, oh my gosh, like I can stand up out of off a chair now, off a knee replacement. You know, it's like that kind of stuff where it's like, man, that is super rewarding.
That's kind of what drove me to work with Gen Pop versus, because I after going through that experience, I was super grateful and learned so much. I want to shout them out. Vince Gabriel and Tom Langton, they were like the head guys there at Gabriel Fitness.
Fitness, okay.
In New Jersey. That's kind of where I got my first coaching job and really taught me how to do things the right way as a coach.
That's important.
When you're young, you don't know what you don't know. So if you go into a place, and this is not to put Dog Pound down in any kind of way, but there was no one at Dog Pound really monitoring, like, hey, are you giving great cues? Are you paying attention? Are you not on your phone?
Like the quality of the coaching.
Yes. Yeah. And, you know, you kind of had to self-police that. But if you're a young coach coming in and you don't really know any better, or if you see something that another trainer's doing that maybe you shouldn't, you know, you're going to replicate it because you think it's okay.
Yeah, and like I say, you don't know what you don't know.
Right. So I'm very grateful that they showed me the right way how to be a professional and a coach. So that was like,
that's huge.
Awesome experience, and grateful for that because that kind of set the foundation in my professional career. And but yeah, I went from there thinking I wanted to train athletes. So I went to that sports performance facility where we worked with so many athletes and from all different sports. And you know, I just found myself having way more fun working with the adult group fitness classes.
Yeah.
I would program for them and they just loved, they just, maybe they didn't want to be there all the time, but they were investing in themselves and they wanted to be there for the most part. And yeah, they appreciated your time. You're taking the time to coach them, to push them towards their goals. Like, it was very rewarding. And I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like, and that kind of what shifted me from athletes to Gen Pop. So it's funny you say that because it is very rewarding. It's awesome.
Like I say, especially with like the elderly population, especially if they understand how important resistance training is to them, like moving forward as they age. They're super grateful. They're so thankful, and they're like they'll be the first ones to thank you and give you a Christmas card or whatever, man.
right.
Like they're the best. And that's not, again, not to knock on anybody I've worked in the past,
of course,
but you know, a difference between like working with an elderly person like that and working with a fighter, like fighters tend to be so like emotionally like numb that they're like, all right, cool, later, coach. Like so the elderly people are like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And again, both very rewarding in different ways.
Of course.
Yeah, but it's funny that that you bring that up because like I said, I always liked working with the elderly. After the like at first, like I'm like another hip replacement, another knee replacement, or they cleared PT, like blah 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 blah. But in Albuquerque, like those are the people that could afford to train.
Right, that's true.
Albuquerque's not a huge fitness scene, you know. Like you have these elderly retired people. They're like, and I don't know if it's everywhere, but in New Mexico they had a program called Silver Sneakers.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's an insurance program where their insurance pays for their gym membership, which is like, fuck, dude, I wish more would move towards that because that's so much more beneficial than some of the other shit they're prescribing.
100%.
Yeah, so it was like a lot of old people that were in there training.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, one, you brought up a good point. They got the money to be able to afford training and invest in that if they see the value, right? I think that with that older generation, it's just like getting them to see the value in training, you know, because obviously fitness was not as big of a thing as it is now, right? Where social media, everyone you see it so much more now than they ever did. But,
for sure.
But for those who can afford it and see the value in it, it's awesome, you know, and they're super grateful to be able to do things they never thought was possible, or lift a certain weight or move in a certain way again. You know, it's very rewarding.
I'll get, you know, people tell you like, oh, I haven't lifted that much since high school or stuff like that. It's like, damn, like that's wild. But again, dope.
And you know, again, not knocking any athletes. You know, I was one, and I didn't realize it. But or maybe I hope I appreciated it during the moment, you know, but it was like, you can tell a good athlete, like, here's what you're going to do. And then they just do it. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're just good at that. You know? Sometimes it's nice to be able to really help someone who, man, they can't even deadlift without rounding. They can't pick something up without rounding their back. To see them do something properly is like, just something simple like that is like awesome, you know, and they're super grateful for that too. So
do you get a lot of that in San Antonio?
Yeah. I mean, we get a good, you know, we have a good mix.
Tell me about this.
Yeah, we get a good mix of people.
What's the name of the gym again?
Soul Fitness.
Soul Fitness. All right.
Yes, sir. Yep. So started by Jason Badilla. He founded it. He started it, and you know, I was lucky enough to, again, we built that relationship, and was lucky enough to have the opportunity to move down here and join them as a business partner in Soul Fitness. So, but yeah, we cater to a wide range. I mean, definitely anywhere from, I mean, we had like 2 19-year-old kids coming in fresh out of college, you know, on their college break, and up to like, you know, we have a 68-year-old woman who is a beast, man, and she's so cute, but she does everything. She does everything. She may have to scale it back a little bit, but, you know, she does everything. So, yeah, we get a good range of people, and it's really great. I think one thing we pride ourselves on, and I give a lot of credit to Jason, is just the community that we have down there. It's like a family. So it really is like unlike anything, you know. So I'm super grateful to be a part of it. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. I love how you're able to like manifest that.
Oh man,
like you wanted to come down here, and then you just made it happen.
Man, it was like you said, it took time. Like it was like 3 years of like in the works of talking, being in and out of not really sure. You know, and I tell people this all the time because people ask me like, "Do you miss New York? Do you miss New York?" You know, it's New York. And in my honest answer, no, not at all. Zero. Like, you know, New York's cool, but it's like, it just didn't really align with what I was looking for. And when I was in New York, it was like that fear of missing out. Like the fear of like, oh, but what if I stay a little longer? Maybe I'll meet someone that will invite me to be their personal trainer and travel with them all across the world. Or maybe I'll get investors to help me start a gym. Or maybe I'll, you know, you never know who you're going to meet in New York. It's New York. But deep down, when I came to visit, you know, not only Jason and SoulFit, but Austin and Texas in general, it just aligned with me more. you know, the community aspect, the weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Like, the
Yeah,
weather's great down here.
it's
For the most
mid-December,
part,
and I was
it's
sweating my ass off earlier, man.
exactly, man. It's amazing. I love it. I'd rather be hot than freezing cold.
Oh, for
that's
sure. I'm right there with
So-
you, man.
So the weather, the people are super friendly, very welcoming place, and very family oriented, which is
Yeah.
nice, you know. And I knew deep down I was like, that's what I want to do, but I was just listening to a lot of the noise of telling me, well, why would you go to San Antonio? Like,
Yeah.
why would you go there? You're living in New York, working at one of the top gyms in the city. Like, why would you move? But I was listening to too much of that and not like looking internally.
Yeah.
And the more I spent time by myself to really process how I was feeling, and I'm like, nah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
For me. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I need to do this for me.
Yeah.
And I made that firm decision, like, this is what I'm gonna do. And once I made that decision, then man, so many doors started to open up. And, the opportunity for me to come in as a business partner wouldn't have happened if I made that firm decision.
Right.
If I was like, nah, maybe I'll stay a little longer, then that opportunity never would have happened. So
Yeah.
I'm
Opportunity
a
cost there.
firm believer in, like, if you just, quiet the noise, do some internal, figure out where you want to be, things that are important to you, and then you make that move, everything else will just align with that, right? So, I'm super grateful, and that's kind of what brought me to San Antonio. But yeah, it was like in the talks for a long time.
Yeah.
And just had to make that decision. It seemed so scary at the time, but looking back, it's like, man, why not do this earlier?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's something that I've been a reoccurring theme in my life. Like whenever I really take that risk to step out, like it's wild how many doors open.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so many people that are afraid to live outside the norm, or people are like, yeah, why are you going to San Antonio versus New York? Like New York's the scene. Like why? What the hell's in San Antonio besides the Spurs? The old ass Alamo.
Yeah.
Like, dude. But that's the thing though. Is like you take those steps and you feel God or this energy pulling you in a direction. It's like you'd be stupid not to listen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm definitely a man of faith, and I'll tell some not crazy, but God was definitely trying to talk to me and send me a message, because, there's a few instances I would just see random people that have no ties to San Antonio pop up on my feed. They were just there. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, this person's from my hometown. Why are they down in San Antonio, randomly? When I would feel like I'm having doubts or uncertainty, I would see stuff like that. And
affirmations.
I remember one day it was a rainy day in New York. I was running around the city training clients. I think the train was super delayed. I just had enough of the day, and went back home. I just prayed, God, please give me a sign of where you think I need to go.
Yeah.
Because my heart was calling it, but it's please let me know where you feel I should go. And then the next morning on my commute to work, again, some guy I met in New York who grew up in New York, played football in New York, just got signed to the XFL San Antonio team.
Oh, no way.
And he posted it, never posts on Instagram, but he posted that, and I just happened to see it at 5 a.m. on my way to work, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's not a coincidence.
Right.
And that kind of really was man, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
It's not. And then another time, again, I was kind of going through a rocky relationship with everything, but feeling moments of uncertainty of man, am I making the right decision? And I was sitting down. I just grabbed some stuff from the store, had some change in my pocket, and I was about to get in the pool. So I grabbed the change out of my pocket. There was $1 in my pocket, and it had San Antonio on the quarter. I still have a picture of it on my phone, because I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? That's so weird. So I felt like that was a sign, like, no, you're doing what is right.
Yeah.
Like, and instantly felt just like a sense of relief. Like I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah,
So,
I'm walking the path I need to
yeah,
be.
yeah. Like, have you ever had moments like that?
Oh,
Or,
absolutely.
you know, like,
Yeah, man. Oh, dude, it hits me every time because the community on it is so great, and like the
Mhm,
teammates are so
mhm.
great. Um, like some of my fellow coaches, because I'm not like in. You look at any pictures
Yeah.
on like on it website, like I'm not in the middle of the group. I'm
Mhm,
not like in the
mhm,
front, but I'm
mhm.
there every day.
Right.
Like I'm
Yeah, yeah.
hanging out up front if I don't have clients. Like
Yep.
I'm getting to know the front of house staff. So I always kind of like think of myself as like just quietly there.
Yep.
But anytime like I've had like my dog get sick or anything, like I needed something, I needed a class covered, like they are like just so spot on, and I'm like I'm exactly where I need to be.
Yeah,
Like these
yeah.
people like genuinely care about me.
Right.
I feel like I am like my presence does make a difference
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And those are like the big symbols, but there's been a lot of like different little things like coming out here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
exactly where I need to
Right,
be.
good.
I'll never forget the first time I saw my Onnit email.
Oh, yeah.
Like N Gomez at onnit.com. I
Hey,
took a
that's
picture of
awesome.
that and I sent it to everyone in my family. Like my
That's so
sister was crying. She's like, "Oh my
Man,
god, dude,
that's
you're there."
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude, because it
Yeah.
was so rewarding, and it was a big risk. Like coming out here, I didn't have
Mhm.
shit lined up when I moved out here.
Yeah.
Didn't have
Just
a
took-
house, didn't have a job.
Wow.
Like I moved out here, nothing.
Took that leap of faith. Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew that like if I'm taking this leap of faith, like God's got me.
Yeah.
And I'm big on like the story of and I say a big now I'm drawing blanks on the name. I want to say it was Peter stepping out of the boat to walk
Right.
on water towards
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, step out of the boat. If you have
Step out of
faith,
the
like
boat.
step out of the boat,
Yep.
walk on water. And it's when he starts to get distracted by the storm around him
Right.
that he starts to sink.
Sing. And he's
It's like, no, like
keep
put on
your
the
eyes on
blinders
me.
to the noise. Keep
Yep.
your eyes on God
Yep.
and your journey and your faith and
Yeah,
your purpose.
Absolutely.
And you'll walk on water. And
Yeah.
it's been such a blessing moving
Yeah.
out here.
That's awesome, man. I
Yeah.
love to hear that. That's a cool story because I'm sure, like you said, you could have stayed in your hometown and
I loved it.
been content with
Content.
being where you were,
Yeah.
and could have been fine, but something was calling you to go to
Yeah.
Onnit and Austin and bring you here. So and
Yeah.
look at you now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, man.
it's
Fuck,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
Super cool.
It's been such a blast living out
Yeah.
here. Like it's
Yeah.
super fun. I'm glad you're out here now.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on with like your assessment of like people have like good core values
Yeah.
here. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget my sister, two small kids. She flew in, I believe, from Albuquerque. And I pull up front. I'm like I'm stressing because I'm like, I know I have to haul ass in there, help her with her luggage, help her with a car seat, help her with her kids. So like I'm pulling up to the terminal at Austin Airport, and I'm like, all right, like ready to like pull the e-brake, hop out, run in there, and grab shit before like someone tells me I can't park there.
Yeah.
And I pull up, and like this old dude just helping her carry all of her stuff out of the airport. And I was like, oh fuck. And she's like, no, this guy just offered to help. He saw me
Yeah.
struggling, and I was
Right.
like, thank God for Texas,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Oh man, yeah, for real. It's like people are so friendly, man, and the amount of just like natural, friendly conversations I have on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter where I go, you know, whether it's the clerk at the store,
Mm-hmm.
just like, hey, how's your day? You know, and they're like, oh man, and we just have a whole conversation.
Yeah.
And because they're just open, they're happy, you
Yeah.
know, and I feel like a lot of the time in New York, it was just like people are just in their zone. Everyone's just minding their own business, doing their thing. Even people at the store, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not everyone,
Sure.
but it's like very transactional. It's like, I need my coffee. Okay, here you go.
Yep.
Take it,
Next.
go, get out, next, boom.
Yeah.
Because everyone
Such a rat
so in
race.
hurry. Yeah.
Yeah. There's heavy energy in New York.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is. And I'm grateful for it.
Sure.
But anyone that wants to go there feels like it's calling to them, then go experience it for sure. It's an awesome place. Nothing like it. But as far as like, you know, slowing down, being able to be friendly, be happy, and just like have conversation. I mean, it's crazy the amount of people I've been able to just meet, you know, in the community or just out and about, because they're super friendly. Sometimes I forget, like, oh, yeah, it's okay. It's normal to like say hello to people and be friendly, you know, or in my apartment complex walking around, people are just like, hey, how are you? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is normal here.
Yeah, dude, that's funny. Because coming from Albuquerque is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like second in the nation in violent crimes.
wow.
Like,
I didn't know that.
It's a small population
Yeah.
state, so a lot of people like don't know that, but like per capita, like it's a pretty tough place.
Wow.
And so same thing, like I'll leave, like perfect example, I was at the golf course the other day, like the little like chipping area,
Mhm.
and I had to go pick up a bunch of balls, and it required me to walk like 40 yards away from my bag.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like looking over my shoulder at my bag every step, like, because in Albuquerque, and I shit you not, I kept expecting like a car to just pull up on the side of the road, stop, someone hop up, grab my bag, and take off with it.
Yeah.
And I kept watching my bag, and I'm like, I'm not in Albuquerque anymore.
Right.
Like, I need to quit doing that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Everyone should always have your head on a swivel. Be aware. Like, situational awareness is huge. I took Tim Kennedy's sheepdog course.
Yeah.
And that's something I was already like pretty savvy to, of like how to, like, where you want to sit in a restaurant to make sure you look at exits and shit like that.
Right.
But Texas it definitely has like a warmer, more welcoming, and you know what the interesting thing is? I feel like it tends to attract that same kind of energy, because a lot of people I meet that still like reciprocate that kind of energy aren't from Texas.
Right.
But Texas is what brought them here. Like, that is what brought them here. Is like, I think they just again kind of cultivated that community, and you meet so many amazing people that aren't from Texas but still kind of hold those good values. And it's like, all right, cool. I'm glad we're both here.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah, it definitely attracts those kind of people. If, you know, it is that already, but it attracts those people if they're not from Texas, brings them in. So, and makes them a Texan. So
yeah, makes them a Texan. Yeah, for sure. Still waiting for that. I got a Texas patch on my backpack, so you know I'm getting closer.
Yeah, you get some cowboy boots and a hat.
Yeah, oh yeah, I had that before I got here.
Oh really?
But
Okay.
So I'm fitting in.
I gotta get some of those.
Yeah, you got to, man. Go to Gomez Boot Ranch. I'm sure they have it in San Antonio.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta
Gomez,
go check it out.
I think it's Gomez Boot Ranch. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I got my hat from.
Yeah,
there. But I had boots from Albuquerque, and I worked on a farm in high school.
You did? Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I baled some hay, and I spent a little time doing that, which was great lessons to be learned there, but not a job I would love to go back to.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember some of those jobs. Oh, man.
I've had too many of those, honestly. And honestly, that's why, like, growing up, I was never like worried to walk away from a job.
Right.
Because I knew, until I got into training, whatever job I was doing before, I knew wasn't my calling.
Yeah.
Like, I never felt like I was like, oh God, I don't want to lose this job. Like, if I had issues at a job, like, and it was something that I saw as unjust or unfair, I'd be like, all right,
see ya. Like,
that's
powerful. That's great.
It was nice.
Right.
It was nice to feel like I was never tied down.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe that's a little reckless of me, especially as like a early mid-20s. Like, maybe I should have been spending more time building, but also, like, fuck that. Like, I'm here where I am now for a reason, and it all worked out. But I worked at Hollister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I worked at Hollister for a while. That was what's funny is people are like, oh, you a model? Like, joking around, because I'm very clearly not a model. I'm 5'8", and but like at Hollister, they do hire you as a model.
Really?
So, so that they can legally hire attractive people. So your like title is like a model.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. At least someone thought I was attractive. But but
I was good looking enough to get hired. Hey.
Good for Albuquerque. Let's pump the brakes there. It was Albuquerque. But I remember I was working there over Christmas break, and couldn't find fucking parking because it's in the mall. And so I was like 3 minutes late to my shift, and the manager, like, I'm working like the evening shift. So we close up, and they call the women's sections Betty's. The entire Betty section, just a nightmare. Again, it's like a week before Christmas. And all these high school girls just raiding that place. And the manager is like, he's like, all right, Nick, since you showed up a little late, like, you don't mind staying a little bit later and just fold the Betty section by yourself. I'm like, bro, that's going to take like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was 3 minutes late. You're not going to make me stay here till midnight folding this Betty section. And he's like, so what are you saying? I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I'm just done, dude. Because I was I'm not the Hollister type. I had to buy clothes to work there because I didn't have anything that kind of like fit the uniform.
That's funny.
The manager's like, he's like, well, you can get your shift covered tomorrow? I was like, that's not my problem. I just told you I quit. Like, I'm not getting my shift covered tomorrow.
Right. That's not my responsibility anymore. That's funny, yeah.
What was the worst job you ever had?
Worst job? Oh, I mean, there's like certain jobs. I would say not like, it wasn't like something I held. Do you mean like just, for example, like I did like a one-day job, or maybe it's a weekend job. Just, it was like cleaning this like animal feed plant. Yeah.
This sounds like some Pennsylvania stuff.
Yeah. It was like the worst thing ever. Like, just really getting in deep, and it was just nasty,
in the muck,
gross, and like, I never felt so dirty in my life. But but that was like not a job I did consistently. It was just like a weekend thing.
Yeah.
But worst job ever.
Did you work in any like restaurants or anything?
I did work at Pizza Hut one time.
Mm.
I was the wing guy.
Nice.
So You
The
know,
wingman.
That was the wingman.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad we're going out to party tonight. I got a wingman.
I got some experience, you know. I worked at this local restaurant in my town, you know, and the lady there was, you know, I respect them a lot because they built a great business, you know. She was just tough. She's just always just a tough woman to deal with. And, you know, at the time I was just a kid and I had my priorities shifted on like football, school, and, you know, and I think one time I had to go up for this junior day. So I told her, I was just like, hey, you know, I have something very important I need to attend. And, you know, it just like wasn't enough notice. And she was just giving me a hard time. And it's like, I get I work here and stuff, but I'm also
a high school kid,
16 years old.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm telling you I'm going to go party or something. Like, this is something for my future. And, you know, ended up quitting because she wouldn't let me go. So I was like, I'm just going to quit. And I was like, I'll finish my 2 weeks or whatever. And she's like, nah, you're good. You can just get out of here. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, deal.
Yeah. And then,
wild to me that like someone would expect you to pick that over going to like a junior day. Like,
right. I mean, you know, I guess,
what are you thinking?
Yeah. But I'm not, you know, the saying, I kind of believe. What are your thoughts? I mean, you tell me, like, how you do everything is how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Are you a believer in that?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think I am either.
A lot of people say that because, and I honestly, I feel like a lot of people that say that probably read Goggins' book too many times.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I should wake up at 4 a.m. and make my bed because like I want to be an executive at work.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I think there's probably a lot of millionaires that come home to a messy bed.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, unless they're paying someone to make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think once you find what it is that you are being called to do, it's like all that other small stuff will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Like, you will start doing those things because you're finally following your purpose and you want to like at the gym, like I've never been like a super clean guy.
Yeah.
But I am now because I'm a business owner, so I need to make sure my gym is spotless and clean and on top of it. And that has carried over into my home where I make sure it's clean, tidy, and spotless, right? And if my home is organized, my business will be organized. But I was not always like that. I was always a messy kind of person. But once you find that purpose that you're pursuing, I think everything else will clean itself up. But if you're just doing a job that you don't like, then I don't expect you to do everything absolutely right. I mean, you're not passionate about it. So,
I agree.
You know, but yeah, I hear that saying a lot, but I'm not a big believer in it.
Yeah, I hear it too. And I agree, man, because if you would have, let's say, the last job I worked before I got into training was at Discount Tire.
Okay.
So I was a tire technician, just fucking flipping tires all day. Wickedly tough job. It was like an 8-hour-long workout. Yeah. And in New Mexico, you have like the bay doors open. It could be 105 degrees out. It could be 18 and raining and brutal because you just have to deal with the conditions, whether you're melting or freezing.
Right.
And you're kneeling down on cement all day. You're dealing with tools. Like, you're trying to pop these beads on the tires, all this shit.
Yeah.
Rough job. Great company. Like, I'll always take my car to Discount Tire, but it was a tough job.
Yeah.
But if you were to be like, all right, how's Nick going to be as a trainer, and you went to watch me at Discount Tire, it'd be two totally different animals.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. I did my job because I'd still like to carry a good name.
Of course.
I don't want people to be like, oh, there's fucking Nick again.
He's being like super lazy or something.
No.
Like
I never wanted that to be the reputation that preceded me.
Of course.
So I did the job, but like I was by far not the best tire technician there, and I was okay not being the best. I was like, okay, I didn't lose a finger today.
Right.
I didn't ruin somebody's expensive ass rims today. Like, it was a good day for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you were to say like, oh, well, if he's going to do that, then he's probably not going to be a great trainer.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm a great trainer now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because
you work at Honor, you're a pretty good trainer.
But the difference is I love it.
Yeah,
I love what I do.
Love what
it's
you're
so
doing. You're very
rewarding.
passionate about it.
Yeah.
So
dude. You can ask anybody. Like, even like I probably spend the most off the clock hours at On It.
Yeah.
As far as just hanging out with the people there, shooting the shit.
That's awesome.
Like, every girl I've ever dated, or like any girl that I've brought, like friends, family, whatever I've brought to On It, they're like, dude, you talk to everybody. And like, we'll be like on my way back or on my way back up to the front, and I'll have like 5 or 6 different conversations.
That's awesome, man.
But I love it,
awesome.
man. The community is great.
That's what helps make the community one. And I think all coaches should do that, right?
Yeah,
you
especially if you care about the business and you care about the people there.
Yeah, of course, right? Because, you know, just getting to know everyone, I mean, and indirectly it will help you, right? I'm not saying that you're doing it for the sole purpose of helping myself, but, you know, just being a positive presence in the space and just getting to know people, talk to people on a deeper level is going to make your job better. It's going to make everyone else's experience better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like you said, that's not being an outgoing person at On It. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say it's not a hard thing to do because there are people that are just not into it.
Yeah.
But like me going in On It, it's such a natural fit because I'm such like a social butterfly anyway.
Yeah.
So like being there and like being able to like have these conversations, and then like even today we had our 10-year anniversary, so a bunch of events going on this morning, and I mean there are so many bodies in there. I can't wait to see like the footage. We got like drones flying around in there and shit.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's sick, but it's like one of those things where I'm like, man, I am in like a living building right now. Like this building has a pulse, and it's such a cool place to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, I wish you could have made it up.
I wish I could have made it up in time to see it, but I was, you know, watching all the stories and stuff like that. So but it's cool, man. 10 years, that's crazy.
It's wild, amazing. Man.
That's amazing.
It's crazy because I had Juan on a couple episodes ago, and it's cool to hear. Him and I have always been cool. Like we've always chatted, but we've never had like that in depth of a conversation. Obviously, it was cool to hear like his kind of origin story and like how close like On It was to not becoming On It Gym at least. I'm sure that like the supplements and stuff probably still would have blown up, but On It Gym like was really close to not happening because Juan was going to leave for school. Oh, wow. And then Aubrey's like, no, you need to be training. Dang. And then so Aubrey started like pushing him, like first letting guys train out of his garage. Yep. Then out of what is now Sweat City at On It was like the whole gym at one point.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that where we did the warm ups.
Just that just
was the entire gym.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's how On It Gym started, and Juan was training people out of there, and Aubrey like slowly but surely like bringing in equipment and piecing it all together, and then you go in there today. I mean, God, I don't even know how many square feet it is. Yeah, it's got to be.
It's huge.
It's got to be close to 10,000
square feet. It's like 2 gyms in one, basically. You got the separate
almost
studio,
3 if you include like Sweat City and the volleyball court.
City, yeah, and then the separate gym and
it's so sick. I'd be happy with just like where sports performance, the room in the back. Yeah, like if I owned a gym and it was just that size, I'd be stoked with that. 'Cause that's a big ass area, and then that's not even the big area in the gym.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's awesome. Super cool to see, and I haven't even seen all the new improvements that has been made. So.
Dude, the saunas and cold plunges are a game changer. Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to a friend up in Dallas who's into like bodybuilding, and she was telling me, she's like, oh, my body's like, you know, real beat up. I was like, oh, well, go get a cold plunge. And you know, the science on cold plunges, there's some people say it's great, some people say it's not, whatever. I tend to feel good after, that's all I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think there's something to be said. Like foam rolling. Some people are like, oh, foam rolling's a waste of time. I'm like, hey, all I know is mentally it makes me feel better to foam roll. Yeah. Same thing with the cold plunge. Like I feel mentally I feel better after doing it. Yeah. So I told her, I was like, well, just go hit a cold plunge or something. She's like, that's not a thing in Dallas. She's like, there's just not like cold plunges up here. I was like, that's fucking wild.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's not really a thing in Albuquerque either. Yeah. Like I think I've been so almost like pampered, I guess, like being at On It, like being exposed to like the coolest shit. Right. Where I'm like, you guys don't have cold plunges, that's wild. But it's like, nope, not a lot of people are doing that.
The On It's ahead of the game as far as fitness goes, you know what I mean? And being in New York, like there was a lot of cold plunge. I mean, there was businesses that legit just recovery centers where you just go and like get, and I think there's a recovery center like right next to
On It, yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, some places are still catching up to that. But I'm thankful. I was always into the ice baths from football because we would always do that for recovery. And that was just like in college, they would get this huge tub, just fill it with like hose water.
Like a horse trough.
Throw ice in it. And we were just like, chill out. But yeah.
That's what we did, man. And especially as a catcher, like catchers were required to do it. Yeah. Like after every practice. I don't think it was quite as cold as like what you see at On It nowadays, like because we keep ours between like I want to say 37 and 45 degrees. But you do the whirlpools in college. Ours, I think we would tend to keep like around 50, but you'd stay in there for 20 minutes. Yeah. versus like a 3 minute at 35 degrees.
Man, yeah.
Brutal.
Will you go all the way down?
I keep my hands out. Yeah, I'll keep my hands out and my toes out. Because in college, we had like little neoprene sleeves that you could wear over your hands and feet. That way you just be fully submerged.
Gotcha.
So maybe I got babied with that. Did you guys have those in college?
Nah. I mean, probably around a little warmer temperature, but yeah, like we would try to go in. Typically, I'm like arms out. I'm a wuss when it comes to the cold, man.
The thing I try to go like chin down, and then like I said, I'll just keep my hands out. I will tell people the excuse that it's so I can keep an eye on my watch, but it's really just because it's brutal to keep your hands and your toes in.
Hey, now you know, guys.
The secret's out.
Tell Nick to get his hands in.
Yeah, it could be a bit. Dude, because what's funny is I'm not like the most like get in there and cold plunge guy. I like to do it, especially because it's so convenient to do it on it.
You have it right there. So.
But every time I walk out of the locker room and I see someone like really struggling in a cold plunge, like as I'm walking by, I'll be like, it's not that bad, and just like keep walking, and people are like, who the fuck is that?
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm in there like once a month.
Right.
Yeah, but it's again, we're so fortunate.
It's cool, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome.
Dude, I mean, it's like a 15-person sauna now.
Really?
Yeah, wow. Big ass sauna, 3 cold plunges, totally like remodeled like a locker room area. Yeah, on it cool. Ever since Aubrey came back into the picture, like it's just been popping off.
That's great, man. That's great. It's good to see him be a part of it.
Yeah, because he is on it.
Yeah.
You know, like him again. Obviously, without him, it never happens.
Right.
But him and Juan just go way back, and it's cool to like I said tonight. We're celebrating the 10-year anniversary, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's wild to think of like everything that has gone through, like the athletes that have gone through, the celebrities that have gone through, like what On It Gym like has become in like the fitness community.
Right. Yeah.
It's like attracting people like you out here.
Yeah. No, I mean people from all over. Yeah. I mean, if you're into fitness, right, you probably have heard of On It or know about it or have seen it somehow, some way, you know.
Even like subliminally, like they heard Rogan talk about Alpha Brain, or they saw Rogan wearing an On It shirt. Like, oh, that's what he's talking about.
With his kettlebell, did you swing it around the Joe Rogan?
The Joe Rogan head kettlebell, I did, man. The ones we got at On It were we got a couple that were like painted. Yeah. So I didn't fuck around too much with those because they were such like limited edition, and then we had artists come and paint them, which was really cool. Shout out to Ulysses. I know he painted a dope one. Ugonzo, he's an artist out On It. I'm trying to have him on. He's does like a lot of cool kind of. I'm sure there's an actual term for it, but I always kind of think like acid trippy. Okay. Like his paintings are like really kind of cool. Like I think Rogan has actually bought some of his art. Wow. Yeah, Ulysses, but he painted the Rogan head kettlebell for us, and it came out looking so dope.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, but we didn't have too many. Like I said, they were pretty limited.
Yeah. I just saw. I think Juan was
flipping one.
And I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be pretty wild. I have a couple of like the cool like different kettlebells at home.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want a Rogan head just sitting in my living room,
just like watching you. You know?
Yeah, I might start like waking up with dreams of like conspiracy theories. Fuck, aliens are real.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
so what's next for SoulFit? What do you guys doing down there? Tell me about it.
Man, right now we're super blessed to be going in. You know, from the moment I touched down, I mean, Jay's been at it a long time, right? And he's been a one-man show doing everything. It's amazing to coming into the business to be like, wow, I don't know how this guy does it because he's a father.
That alone takes a lot.
He's a husband, a father, runs his business all by himself, does all the sessions. You know, it's like, man, how does this dude do it? You know? And so to be able to come in and be around someone like that who's just always able to give, it's amazing. And just being in a great environment is awesome. But the community itself is amazing. We've been able to grow our memberships more. Right now we do solely classes and personal training, small group training, stuff like that. But I
like that model.
Our plan, it's nice because it's like a studio vibe. We just opened up earlier this year into, I think he was operating out of a like 1,200 square foot spot, which is really small.
That's pretty tight.
And it was cool. It was still great. It was amazing what he was able to do in that space. But we opened like a 4,000 square foot facility now.
Let's go.
So plenty of space and
very nice.
You know, sometimes though our classes, it's like, man, even this is tight. So you know that's always a good problem to have.
Good problem to have.
And
still a problem though, but good problem.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but no, we're just trying to grow it, man. Get more members. Try to get a little more involved in the community, and then you know, I'm thankful I have a platform. Jay has a good following on social media that hopefully we can just keep, you know, building the brand up to be something very well known, you know, similar to On It and whatnot. And just down in San Antonio, you know. So
it needs something like that.
Yeah.
I had a couple buddies down there running a gym called Intentional Patterns.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still around. But they had a couple. All of their coaches, if I'm not mistaken, actually came through On It for like On It certifications. So
Awesome.
they had a very good vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'd love to come down and check it out.
Yeah, dude, you gotta come take a class.
Yeah,
you would love
Soul
it.
Fitness.
Yeah,
it's down in like where? How? Like what? Like downtown?
We're more north. So
perfect. Okay.
It's called like Chavano Park, which is like, I guess I'm still learning the area, so
I get that.
Bear with me, but I think it's near the rim. You know.
Okay.
Not too far, maybe like 10 minutes from the rim, or La Cantera.
Oh yeah.
Is like right across the street.
There's a golf course over there.
Yeah, I think La Cantera has a golf course. It's where all like the shopping is and stuff is, the mall. So it's, you know, maybe like 5 minutes from there. And so we're a little more north, but it's a great area. And yeah, the gym's been packed, busy. So
love that.
Super grateful. And yeah, we just want to grow it, man, and make our presence known in the fitness space, and you know, try to build the brand up to be something great. And yeah, I think we'd love to have you come work out with us one day.
I'm checking out because, like I said, I go to my family is in New Braunfels. I go to church in New Braunfels, and that's half an hour north of San Antonio. Especially if you're in like North San Antonio, like that'd be an easy trip. And then, like I said, I have fighters that fight for Fury FC, and they tend to run promotions out of San Antonio. So man, I would love to do that. Like go down early, like catch a workout, shoot the shit, and then go catch a fight after or something.
Oh, that'd be
I'll let you know when I have some fight.
Awesome.
Like I said, I think in February.
I would love to go with. That'd be cool.
Dude, yeah, you would dig it. Yeah. Fury's a good
I've
promotion.
never really been to an actual UFC fight like in person though.
Oh yeah.
So
Fury does one of the better promotions I've seen for like a promotion that's not the UFC.
Yeah. Sorry. When I say I've never seen a UFC fight, I mean
MMA fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people. You know what's funny is like when you hear people be like, "Oh, you train UFC?" I'm like, MMA, not the same, not same.
Yeah.
But Fury does a really good job. They tend to have pretty cool venues. I forget the name of the old bar down in like kind of northern San Antonio that they've ran some fight out of. I want to say maybe it's called Cowboys.
Okay. Yeah,
it's kind of that one was fun. It had very much like a Roadhouse vibe to it.
Cool.
But it's still pretty cool. But Fury itself, like I said, cameras, lights, and like they do walkouts, big screen.
And make it legit,
Yeah, but then they did one out of a venue down in San Antonio that I think is mostly used for like concerts. But it was like a big ass venue. Kind of had like not stadium seating, but like almost like movie theater seating. Like back.
Is it the Majestic Theater? Was it like a theater?
No, it wasn't a theater. I almost want to say like something airlines.
Okay, I'm not sure.
But it had like a food court. It was like a pretty badass like venue, and they ran a Fury fight out of there. I was like, oh, sick, let's go.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like something not like I've seen a UFC fight in San Antonio, and they did it at the wherever the Spurs play.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. Like obviously that's a big venue.
Right.
But this one I was like, this is like perfect for Fury because it's like a bigger venue, but not like wildly huge, like a basketball arena.
Okay. All right, yeah, man.
I'll let you know. I think one of my guys is fighting for a title down there.
Really? Okay, great.
Yeah, Cade Foradori, he's fighting for the 145 amateur title, his next fight. And I don't know if that's in San Antonio or Houston, but I'll let you know. Like I said, I know there's some coming to San Antonio soon, and I guarantee I'll probably have some guys on the card, so I'll definitely let you know.
Let me know, man. Catch a workout, go see a fight. That'd be cool.
Be a good day.
Yeah.
You have to show me some food spots, though.
I'm working on that, too.
Yeah.
I'm getting around, but yeah, I can show you some good spots. Yeah.
I'm big on the food spots.
Yeah. What's your favorite spot here in Austin? Do you have any?
You know what sounds so funny? There's a little Venezuelan food truck not far from my spot.
Okay.
They do stuffed arepas, which are like little corn cakes.
Yep.
Dude, every Saturday. I didn't do it today. I'm gonna have to go tomorrow because I do it every Saturday. It's like a tradition for me. I'll swing by there. And I'll pick up like a sandwich and like an appetizer, and I'll just go home and like chill. And that's a place that I keep going back to. But man, dude, Austin has so many good food places. Like you could eat at a different place every day and probably never hit all the spots before you die.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. I mean, and you can go like big names. You can go like Terry Black's or Jay Carver's, like a big steakhouse, or Dean's Italian Steakhouse at the JW Marriott. That's
dude,
a really good place here. Especially if you're like looking for a date. Calimocho is like a Spanish style restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, dude,
Alright.
really, really good.
to
Probably
know.
one of the best, probably the best ribeye steak I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and the
Calimocho.
desserts were,
All right.
especially if
I'll
you're
keep
like
that in
a
mind.
cheesecake guy. I don't know, come from New York. I don't know if you're a cheesecake guy.
There's not a lot of things I won't eat.
Yeah.
I would say. So I'm not picky.
Yeah,
But
Calimocho
I'm
is
sure it's
dope.
good. Okay, good.
The
Good to
vibe
know.
there is really good too. Like they have like black stone floors. Like it's
Oh,
kind of like
nice.
dim. Oh,
Okay.
dude. Yeah, great spot. I was a big
Alright.
fan of Calimocho.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out. Put it on
yeah,
the list.
put it on the list. You got
I know
to.
I've been to Abba.
Yeah.
I know that was always like a go-to spot.
Well, I'm
but
trying to. We went to a sushi place when you came out.
Where did we go?
It was over by like Spokesman Coffee Shop. There's a couple other spots over there too. It's like a little industrial area,
Yeah.
and there's a sushi spot right there. And
Oh, yes. There was a bunch of food trucks too.
yes, there was a bunch
Yeah.
of food trucks.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah.
like a distillery there, and like I think maybe a brewery.
It was kind of near where like Ladder was set up nearby. I think
think
someone
so.
told me
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, hey, that over there is like where Ladder does that.
Okay.
But yeah, think around that area.
Yeah,
if
it's a pretty cool
still
spot, man. They have a place
Yeah.
over there called Patty Palace, like a smash burger spot that's real good,
Ooh, love
and
that.
Wham Bam Bagels,
Wham
which
Bam Bagels.
New York bagels. I don't know
Yep.
if you're into it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
good
mean,
bagel
little
spot
man,
for
good
sure.
bagel. Cool. All right,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, there's a lot of food, man. Love that.
yeah,
Austin's
food,
a great
music,
city, man.
dude. Austin has so much to offer. Like every
a
time I
great
have like
city.
family or friends come out, I'm like, what do you want to do? Because
Yeah.
there's so much. And now, you know what's funny is I train like 5 or 6 security guards for Comedy Mothership.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they're fighters, and so
Yeah.
Comedy Mothership
Right.
hires them
No.
to do security. It's
Makes
perfect.
sense, yeah.
And they're all super mellow guys, which is
Yeah.
also dope.
Right.
I've yet to go there.
Dude,
And I have so many people are like, "Oh, you've gone to Comedy Mothership yet?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go. I really want to go to Comedy Mothership and check it out. I was like, I think last time I came to Austin, I looked up tickets like 2 weeks in advance. I'm like, maybe, shouldn't be that bad. But I guess that's when Fluffy was coming
Oh,
to
yeah.
perform all weekend, and it was already sold out. Like,
Yeah.
I think there was maybe like 1 ticket left, and I'm like, wow, man. So I wasn't able to go, but definitely gotta, yeah.
Let me know
definitely gotta
next time you
Let's
come up
go.
to Austin,
Let's
let's
go.
plan it. And
Yeah.
dude, I'll get
Yeah.
us in there for sure.
go. Okay, cool.
It'll be a good
'Cause,
time.
I mean, in New York, even like there's tons of comedy club, like Comedy Cellar's a big one.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. I've heard of
really
it.
famous one, and we would go there. I went there one time, had such a good time. It was
Yeah.
such a fun night, and then we just never went back. And life gets busy and
Sure.
stuff, but it's like that's something so simple you can do.
It's something so unique to New York.
Right?
Like you can't go to Pennsylvania and get that.
No,
I can't get Comedy Mothership in Albuquerque.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's so much cool shit that comes through here.
Yeah,
Like you look at
yeah.
like music, ACL, like
Mhm.
South by Southwest, like
yeah.
dude, so much cool stuff
Yeah.
comes through Austin that
I mean, I feel
hard
like
not
you
to have a
got
good time here.
you got here. Was it right after or right before COVID?
End of 2020 is when I moved out.
Okay, so,
like right at the tail end of COVID.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So I'm sure you've seen it even grow more, right?
It's kinda
over
wild.
the past couple years,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
like I
Austin's
guarantee
blown up.
the complex I live at now, like that wasn't even built but when I
Wow.
moved out here.
wow.
Yeah, because like we're like Juan, Eric, myself, a couple other guys from the gym, like the area we live in, it's all like new development.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's like fuck, this probably wasn't even here 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's wild, man. Yeah, it's cool. Again,
blown
I've
up.
I've only been here for 4 years, but you
Mhm.
see, especially like, dude, I-35 is a nightmare. I think will always be the case. But there has been so much construction on I-35 since I've moved out here
Yeah.
that I'm like, damn, this is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
only
It's just
gonna keep getting
rapidly
bigger,
growing.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Especially now, I think Elon's moving like the X headquarters out here.
Is
I think
he?
it's gonna be out here
Oh,
towards
wow.
Bastrop. Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I didn't know
So
that.
the
I
whole
know.
area is gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good time to be out here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good time. Good
Cool,
time to be
man.
here. Yeah, that's why. I mean, San Antonio's gonna be following that same trend because it's
Yeah.
not that far, so it's very easy to get.
It's
up
not,
here
and
come
everything in
go,
between
and
is growing.
It's gonna, New Braunfels is
New
growing.
Braunfels is
like,
blowing up.
like if you look up, I think like one of the top 10 or like maybe even in the country. I think it's like one of the towns or cities that people are moving to is New Braunfels actually.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
hate
sure
to hear
it's
that
like
because I love it like quiet and small, but it's
yeah.
it's getting big, man.
yeah, it's cool. So
Have you spent any time in New Braunfels?
No, not yet. I hear good things about it though. I hear it's
It's a
cool.
cool
Like
time.
the river. Is
a
it
couple
the river?
rivers that float through it. Yeah, you can do
Or
you can float the river.
Okay.
There's 2 different rivers you can float. They just had Wurstfest, which is like the big German
Yes.
festival.
Did you go?
I didn't go this year. I have gone before.
Yeah,
It's a good
okay.
time.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
A
a
lot
good
of
time.
people were going up for
Yeah.
it this past year from the gym. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looked like a good time.
Yeah, cool spot, man. They have a pretty
check it
decent little
out.
farmer's market. Have you been down to the Pearl yet in San Antonio?
Yeah, I love the Pearl.
The Pearl's great.
Pearl's
Have you been to
awesome,
the when they do the farmer's market?
Yeah, on the
Sundays,
weekends.
I
Yeah,
think.
Sundays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. I
Dude,
love it.
That was
I
one of my
love
first
it.
like Texas experiences.
Yeah?
Was a farmer's
Really?
market at the Pearl on a Sunday.
Wow.
I came down to watch that UFC fight in San Antonio.
Got it.
And this was 2019, so I was still living in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the coolest shit. Like, this is such a cool like venue. That
Right.
whole like
Oh,
area
man.
is like so like
That
historic
area
and
is
pretty.
so cool, yeah.
Yeah, and it's right off the
Love
river.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
No,
good
San
time.
Antonio is underrated, man.
It is.
People don't know too much about it, but when you go visit, you realize how nice it is. But
Yeah.
it's a cool city. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure any team that has like a professional sports team is doing something right.
Yeah.
Unless maybe, I mean, I'm sure even Detroit's doing something good. I don't
sure.
want to go to Detroit.
Nah, yeah. I
It
have
looks
no
like a war
reason to
zone,
go
but-
to Detroit, but
Yeah,
I mean, it can't be that bad.
can't be that bad.
Right.
They got a couple sports teams going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Nice, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up.
Appreciate it, man.
Tell the
It's been
people
a
where to
pleasure.
find you on the gram.
Guys, you can follow me at Wes, so WES_Beans, BEANS is my last name. So Wes_Beans.
Check out the kettlebell flow.
Yeah. And check out my business partner at SoulFit SA.
Yeah.
So
That
check us
guy,
out.
how long has he been out here? He's been killing it.
He's he's born and raised in San Antonio.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And
Okay.
he's
I don't know why I
been a
thought he was from
trainer. No, he's from Texas, born and raised in San Antonio, and he's just like, really pays dues, been in a local trainer, and then started his own little space and blowing up. So
Yeah, now he's doing the damn thing.
yeah. So he's a great dude. So you have to
I got to come
have
check it out.
him on and check
I'd
it
love to have
out.
him up. Yeah. Bring him on
Yeah.
when we do the Comedy Mothership. I'll have him on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be
man.
great.
That'd
I'd
be
love to
cool.
hear his story and how he got started,
Yeah.
especially born and raised in San Antonio. That'd be a great time.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. It
Yeah,
was great.
absolutely,
So,
dude. Anytime. We'll have to do
Pleasure.
it again.
Yeah.
We'll plan a day of it
Looking
again.
forward to it. Let's do it, man.
All right, cool.
All right. Cool.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the Lions Pit podcast. Again, I'm your host, Nick Gomez. This is my good friend, Wes Beans. Appreciate you coming up, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Shout out to the fine folks at LSKD for supplying me with the finest workout apparel. I appreciate y'all. And don't forget to tune in next time.